When the seasons change, your mood can too. WECT's Raina Crooms has some advice on ways to cope with seasonal depression this time of year.
This time of year is normally filled with joy and cheer, but it's not that way for everyone. Holiday stress can increase feelings of depression or anxiety and be added stress for people who are already battling with their mental health. This is a festive time of year to gather with family and friends. But sitting down at the table for the holidays doesn't come so easy for everyone.
Sometimes we're forced into social situations that we're not comfortable in, aka family, doing certain things for other people, being certain places. So that can increase anxiety and maybe the depression that they're already seeing.
On average, 1 in 20 adults will experience seasonal depression, feeling secluded or withdrawn. For most, the feelings come along with the loss of sunlight, and the feelings can be aggravated with stress. Studies show that 85% of Americans experience holiday stress. This can be due to pressure to find the perfect gift or more social gatherings. Experts say to help cope, be intentional with your time and give yourself things to look forward to after the fact.
Reach out to a friend who might be able to help you. Make sure, you're with family members that you do enjoy.
Remember the basics, like practicing self-care and healthy habits.
Just because you're in therapy, it doesn't mean that you're broken. Everybody needs help sometimes.
Remember, doing little things like giving yourself something to look forward to or spending time with a good friend can make a big difference. And never be afraid to reach out for help when you need it. Raina Crooms, WECT News.